If you'd like to learn how to make a beautiful photo like this one using only Lightroom, stay tuned, I'll show you how to do it. I'm Ken Mostek. I'm a professional photographer and I specialize in pet photography. Earlier this week I edited this photo and showed it on social media. A ton of you sent me messages asking me how I did it. I'll show you. Okay, so let's get started. I've already opened up Lightroom and put in the raw photo that I took of Ruger here. Beautiful dog, beautiful German Shepherd, and just gorgeous colors. Now this, I always shoot in raw. That way I can manipulate the colors, the textures, all of that. You can do so much more than you can when you shoot in JPEG. Here we are in Lightroom. We're going to go up to the Develop module up here. And then over here on the right side is where you can control everything that you need for your photo. So I'm just going to do some really basic editing right now. Just going to, bring out some exposure, some contrast. I'm going to bring those highlights down, bring the shadows up. And if you notice on the side of the face here, over here, you can really see the shadows come out. I don't want to go too crazy because I do want a little bit of shadow left in there. And really for our photo that we're going to be ending up with, that side isn't really going to matter because we are going to crop it and cut it off. Okay, bring the whites up just a bit. I like to bring my blacks down quite a bit. I just think it brings out some more contrast. It works well with the contrast. I'm going to take my texture down, and what that's going to do is it's going to soften up the background. Now if you notice on the dog, it's also going to soften up the dog's fur. See if I really bring it up. So I'm going to bring it down quite a bit, but not too much. I'm down literally -50. I mean, that's quite a bit. I'm going to bring the clarity also down, okay, but not near as much. Maybe -7, not a lot, because otherwise it won't look real. It just won't be good. I bring my dehaze up just a bit, like 3 or 4. Helps make the photo a little bit darker and brings out a little bit more of the colors. Of course, we're going to do colors here anyway. Okay, I'm going to bring my vibrance up, probably to about +16. That looks pretty good. Now, he's got some oranges in him, in his fur, so I'm going to bring that saturation up just a bit, but not too much, because, I mean, it doesn't take much and you can really see it popping. So I really only bring it up to about +5. Okay, so now I'm going to come down into the detail panel, which is right here. And under here is sharpening. I'm going to bring my sharpening up probably to about 80. Okay, and then I also bring my radius up to, just underneath where this is at. So, 1.7, somewhere in there. There is a lot more that you can do with this tool. I don't need to do anything with it right now. I just need to sharpen it up a little bit, and what that's gonna do is I'm bringing out the fine details here around his eyes and all of this fur that's kind of right in this area. Meanwhile, the texture and the clarity is going to keep all of this area out here nice and blurry and really make it look nice. I don't need to do anything with noise reduction. I was outside, so my ISO was at 100, so there isn't really a whole lot of noise in this photo as it is. As I come down here, now I do like to add vignetting to my photos. I really do. I think it really looks nice. I'm not going to vignette right now. Usually I would, but because we're going to do some more editing, I'm going to wait on the vignetting. And then another thing that I really like to do, down here under calibration, you have the shadows and the red primary and green primary and blue primary. I like to bring the saturation up on the blue primary, just to taste. Now see, I think that the oranges are too bright in this as it is. So I bring it back down, probably about +20, somewhere in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have my initial edits done. Okay, you can still play with it, you can still move things around, but this is just my initial edit. I'm going to go back up to the top of the develop panel up here, okay, and you can see under treatment you have color and you have black and white, right? If I click on black and white, it's going to turn it into black and white, and everything that I adjust under here will still adjust. You know, all of the colors will bring out different parts of the fur and things like that. Also under here, it says Adobe monochrome right here, which is the black and white setting for that. If you click on these 4 little boxes that are right here, it will pull up all of these other presets that you can use. Now there's 17 of them for black and whites. And if you come under here and you just hold it over, you can see in your picture that it will adjust what the preset will look like. Okay. Now you can pick one of these if you want. You don't necessarily have to. If you like the way that just the regular black and white looks, that's fine. You can also, let's say like you pick one of these, okay, and up here at the top, it does give you an amount. So you can adjust that amount and it'll blend it with your original photo of how much, you know, that preset affects your original editing. Okay? In this case, I am not going to choose one. So, I'm just going to close out of that because we're not going to do that. I want to go back to color. Okay, so I'm in color, and this is how you get that really cool effect. First, what we want to do is let's crop our photo to what we want here. Okay, so I'm going to crop to about here, and then I'm going to take like half the face, which is right. You know, you can judge by the nose. It depends on how he's situated. Bring this side over just a bit, and then I'm going to come to here. Now, you can get into all kinds of debates with people about, especially in pet photography, about whether you cut the ear off or you don't cut the ear off. You know what? We're all artists. It's personal taste. Do what you want to do. If you think it looks good, then do it. Okay? So if I crop that, this is the shot that we're going to get. All right? If I do crop that ear, let's just see what it looks like if I come down to the top of the head. Just kind of like that. You get much more of the face and the eye. Okay? And that's what I really like. Okay, so now what we're ready to do is we are ready to use our paintbrush tool in Lightroom. Okay? So what you want to do, instead of making the whole photo black and white by using their preset of black and white, you're going to paint black and white. So come up onto your brush here, okay? And then under effect here, you have exposure, but you have all of these others that are under here, okay? I'm going to come down to saturation. And saturation is right here, is your slider that's down under here. I do not want any saturation, so I'm going to come to minus 100 on my saturation, okay? Then you come down under here under brush, and we're on A here, okay? You can select your size, your feathering, okay? And all you're going to do is click and hold and paint across here. Just paint across the whole entire thing, just like this. Okay, just like that. Make sure you get all that color out of there. And we have a black and white photo. Okay, and you can adjust it. You can do anything you want to do. You can still, you know, you can still affect your exposures, your contrast, all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to come back down under here where you have your brushes, and you have A and a B brush. Okay, so you can use either one. What we're going to do is we're going to come here to erase. Click on erase. Now it's just another brush, okay, but it's going to take away what we've already done in here. So again, I'm gonna zoom in just a bit here so we can see. Actually, I'm coming in a little bit tighter. There you go. And all you're gonna do, just click and hold this down just as a brush, and bring this out just like this. Okay, perfect. Now, when you zoom out, give a black and white photo, and you still have that color in that eye. So that's how I created this photo. So when you're done with that, then go ahead and click done. We're going to go back. I'm going to go back down here to my vignetting. I'm going to add a pretty heavy vignette because I want it to be kind of a darker type photo. So I'm at -33, which is a lot. I'm going to bring my exposure down just a bit, which is going to really make this part stand out right in the middle. Keep my shadows there, bring my whites up just a bit, and this is where you just kind of play with it. And that's basically the photo that I did with just erasing that color out of there. It's really easy to do. Doesn't take a lot of time. It's really easy to do. I do have another photo that I wanted to try this with. Of course, it works really well with high contrast subjects. This is just a photo of some flowers that I took out in my yard with an iPhone. Not the best quality photo. Doesn't matter. It has great colors, and so we want to try it on this photo. So come back up to your develop panel. We're going to go, well, let's adjust some colors here. Okay, so just make your basic edits here. So bring my highlights down. You saw how that really brings out the purples here. Shadows, you know, it's okay. It's not great. Whites, okay, there. Bring my blacks down a bit. Okay. Texture. See, if I do too much texture, then you lose all of the little veins and everything that are in the flowers. So I'll bring it down just a little bit because I do want it to be just a little bit softer, but not too much. I'm not going to do dehaze on this one just because, you know, dehaze is really good for, you know, when it's hazy out, you're shooting downtown or something like that, and you want a nice clear sky. I don't have any sky in this, so it won't matter too much. It'll bring down, it'll make the photo darker, which I don't really want. I mean, so I'm just not going to play with it. I'm going to bring the vibrance up just a bit and the saturation just a bit. Now you can see when I do saturation, the leaves kind of go nuts. I'm not too worried about that because we're going to make all that black and white. Again, sharpening, I'm going to bring my sharpening up to about 65, bring my radius up. All that's going to do is really kind of sharpen the edges of the photo. We're going to come down here. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add my vignette. Doesn't really do much to it. Okay, so I'm not going to add my vignette here. I'm going to wait till I'm done. And then at the very bottom down here, blue primary, I'm going to bring that up, and that just adds to those purples a little bit more. It just makes the colors pop just a little bit more. Okay, now that we've done that, it's very easy. We just go to our brush tool. Again, under here, just come down to saturation. All right, click on that. And normally your saturation, when you click on this, normally your saturation will be at 0. So just bring that down all the way to -100. We're just going to take all of that out of there. You want to make sure that your brush is on A or B. Doesn't matter. Either brush is fine. All right, and just paint. And I'm just going back and forth over this. It's no big deal. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just now you might have to go over a few times just to make sure that all of the color is out of it. Okay, and it looks like that. Cool. All right, now while my brush is still selected, I haven't done anything to it. All I'm going to do is come back over here, go to erase. Okay, and you want a smaller brush for this because you're doing a little more detailed work. You might need to zoom in a little bit. Okay, but for the most part in this stuff, you can go bigger and just kind of generally go over this until you get out towards the edges, and then you're going to want to do more detail. Okay, so then you do more detailed work. You can really zoom in on it. Really kind of come up here in these fine edges like this. Okay, and that's going to be about it. Just kind of back out of it, take a look, see what you think. And you have beautiful purple flowers. Now, I could go farther, right? If I wanted to come in and I wanted to do the green stems and then make the rest of the background just black and white if you wanted to. You could leave it just like this if you wanted to. It's up to you. And so really, that's all it is. It's really very easy. Come back in at the very end. See what happens with the, take the vignetting, and that's a lot of vignetting. So, but it's kind of cool. It really makes it stand out. And another beautiful photo. So really, that's all it is. It's really easy to do in Lightroom. You can do it in Photoshop if you'd like. There are ways to do it, but really it's very easy right here in Lightroom. There are also many other different ways to be able to do this. I've found that this is the easiest way for me. It's not hard at all. So have some fun with it. Find photos that are really high contrast in colors. That's where it really tends to work the best, to really make those colors pop against a black and white. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them below in the description of this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you found this helpful and useful. Please like the video, and of course hit that bell so that you'll know when I have new videos coming out. And please share my video with everybody that you know who may be curious about this technique. So I really hope that you got something out of this and that this really helps you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.